1984. Ghostbusters and the Karate Kid would first appear in theaters, taking the world by storm. Michael Jackson and Prince were dominating the music charts, and some guy out of the University of North Carolina would be drafted 3rd overall in the NBA draft named Michael Jordan, who would go on to have a pretty good career. And in the theme park world, Big Bad Wolf opened at Busch Gardens Williamsburg and King Cobra at Kings Island 2 as well. But in a small town 20 miles south of Atlanta, a small local park's origin would begin.
I dare you to go down. 1, 2, 3. Oh boy.
Hey kids, let's go to Dixieland! With thrilling rides, exciting games, and great prices, what are you waiting for? The real fun is at Dixieland.
The year was 1984. 80 acres were purchased by Diane and Johnny Williams, with the couple not having the idea as to what they wanted to do with the land. The land would sit idle for 5 years until 1989, where after attending a conference in Atlanta for the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions, the couple would decide to change the land into an amusement park and call it Dixieland Fun Park, with Diane stating, "I guess we just caught the bug when we went, but we had to do things slowly." During this time, across the way at Six Flags Over Georgia, the park was thriving in their 22nd season of operation, with Z-Force, the only space diver coaster ever created, was in its 2nd year at the park. Slowly indeed, Dixieland began to develop, and a permit was filed for Dixieland Fun Park was registered on May 2nd, 1990. Across the way, another competitor, Silver Dollar City Incorporated, would open a small family entertainment park called American Adventures on Memorial Day weekend of 1990, to complement their already successful water park, Whitewater Atlanta, that opened in 1984. 1990 would also see Georgia Cyclone arrive at Six Flags Over Georgia as a mirror image of the Coney Island Cyclone. And in 1990, Dixieland Fun Park would open officially with just a miniature golf course. According to David Glover, the son-in-law of Diane and Johnny Williams, and the manager of Dixieland, stated that the park decided to expand based off of what they offered and what the community was asking for. Therefore, in 1992, the park would add the bungee tower. The bungee tower was added in 1992 and offered the only legal bungee jumping in the state of Georgia, with David Glover yet again stating, "Bungee jumping was getting to become a popular thing, so we went out on a limb and decided to add one." By 1994, Dixieland expanded their ride selection even further by adding batting cages, water bumper boats, a sky coaster, laser tag, and 3 go-kart tracks. With all of the growth by their 4th season of operation, by adding new rides and additions, and now offering a total of 6 rides and attractions at the park. A year later in 1995, Dixieland would take their biggest leap of faith since purchasing the land for the park little over a decade earlier in 1984. In 1995, the Williams family decided to expand and open a second Dixieland Fun Park in Gwinnett County, deeming it as Dixieland Fun Park Gwinnett. Dixieland Fun Park Gwinnett would be located near Lawrenceville, Georgia, and would open in stages, until it fully opened on June 2nd, 1995. Just like the origins of the original Dixieland in Fayetteville, Georgia, the second location would offer several miniature golf courses at the park, and the same food menu as the Fayetteville location. The Gwinnett location would offer go-karts, bumper cars, bumper boats, 2 laser tag facilities, one for adults and another primarily for children, and an arcade area. As to why the owners and managers decided to open a second location, Glover was quoted by saying, "We finally felt we had the Fayetteville Park under control and decided to start looking for other locations." Further also stating that this Gwinnett site happened to be for sale. Of course, with him referring to Dixieland purchasing the site from Recreation World that opened in 1990 and closed in the fall of 1994. Essentially, it was a growing untapped market in Gwinnett County, where Dixieland was welcomed with open arms by the Gwinnett Convention and Visitors Bureau. Susan Cohen, executive director, stated that, "We have had a lack of recreational facilities compared with the other counties. Cobb has Whitewater and Six Flags, and they promote themselves as the fun side of Atlanta. With Malibu Grand Prix was the only thing in Gwinnett County that fell into that category." She closed by saying, "Any new facility like Dixieland Fun Park will be a big plus." Dixieland expanding a second location near Lawrenceville, Georgia in Gwinnett County in 1995, thriving with all of their new ride additions at the original location in Fayetteville, Georgia. 8 years later, in 2003, it would be time again to add new rides yet again at the original location. Dixieland Fun Park in Fayetteville would add their first zip line. This zip line was actually created by the owner's separate company, Trampoline World, who decided to expand into kiddie ride manufacturing. Trampoline World would eventually turn into a metal fabrication business. But out of that, one of the rides that would be created for Dixieland was the zip line, becoming one of their most popular rides at the park. David Glover stated that it's one of a kind. The family built it and it's the only one of its style in the nation. A year later in 2004, after the popularity of the original zip line that was built in-house, Dixieland decided to add a second zip line due to popular demand. The zip line would hold up to 3 people and would lift patrons backwards along a 600-foot line, and once it reaches its highest point, the zip line would move forward 100 feet above the ground. The owners of Dixieland went on to state, "The wait would sometimes be more than half an hour for the zip line. We don't want people standing around for that long if possible." Therefore, they manufactured a second zip line in-house to please guests and cut down the wait times. With Dixieland adding a second zipline in 2004, the park expanded their ride offerings even further with more additions such as the antique cars, which are replicas of Model A and Model T cars on a steel rail that kept riders on a track. And lastly, in 2004, Dixieland in Fayetteville would also add the Giant Swing. The Giant Swing ride seats 4 people that are suspended between 2 65-foot poles at the top speed of 45 miles per hour, where riders can view the whole landscape of the park. When we opened, we just had miniature golf. Then the next year we added more things. We keep putting money back into the park's operation, said Glover. Finally, in 2007, after massive growth and putting money back into the park, Dixieland felt it was finally time to add the addition of additions that guests had been asking for over 15 years. According to Michael Boylan, writer for thecitizen.com, every year when management would ask guests what most would they like to come to the park, guests would continue to state that they wanted a roller coaster. Our customers have been asking for a roller coaster for 15 years, according to Glover. So what did Dixieland do, you may ask? In the off-season, the park owners and managers would venture out and look for the tallest and best fit for a roller coaster that they could bring to the park to fit their target audience of families. Needless to say, after an extensive search, they found it. The Dixieland Fun Park in Fayetteville, after 5 weeks of assembling, would open Screamin' Eagle in May of 2007. That was formerly known as Wildcat and relocated from Wild Island in Sparks, Nevada. Screamin' Eagle would complement their already well-rounded ride selection, including the new 44-foot tall drop tower called Drop Zone. By 2009 and until 2011, Dixieland would offer over 20 rides, attractions, and a show. But by 2012, after serving South Atlanta for over 20 years, it was time for a change.
Dixieland Fun Park is now Fun Junction, USA! Located off Georgia Highway 85 in Fayetteville, Fun Junction, USA is the spot for fantastic family fun, thrill rides, awesome birthday parties, and flexible family pricing. Pay for the day or pay per ride. Fun Junction, USA offers theme park fun at a price anyone can afford. Go-karts, mini-golf, extreme rides, and the Screamin' Eagle roller coaster. We have something for everyone. Visit funjunctionusa.com for more info.
Dixieland Fun Park would receive a change in branding and in name. Dixieland in 2012 would be renamed to Fun Junction USA. With this, the park would initiate further changes in management, with bringing in an all-new management team, a new pricing structure for flexible admissions, and an all-new direction. Fun Junction USA, unlike Dixieland Fun Park, would no longer be free to enter and pay as you ride. Fun Junction USA, with their new direction, would see that guests would have to pay $5 to park. This change was initiated in part because some guests from time to time would just show up to cause a ruckus at the park. Essentially, the mindset was that people wouldn't want to pay to go somewhere to cause a ruckus, but would continue to do so if it were free. So they in part changed the parking pricing system. Fortunately enough, park goers would still get their $5 back to ride something once admitted to the park. Aforementioned Fun Junction USA would now offer flexible admission pricing options, such as $20 per guest including one go-kart ticket. This fun pass granted the purchaser entry into the park, unlimited access on day of purchase to all outside rides. This would include all of the rides that were operating under Dixieland, but now including a number of classic rides with the likes of the Ferris wheel, a kiddie Jeep flat ride, train rides, and a mini carousel. $28 per guest including unlimited go-kart rides. The Super Fun Pass grants the purchaser entry into the park, unlimited access on day of purchase to all outside rides including the Play Maze, which was a playground that was open to kids 44 inches and under, located inside near the eating and party areas. And this Super Fun Pass excluded the climbing wall, but also included unlimited go-kart admission. You could also purchase tickets individually. Let me explain. Individual rides would cost $1, where Fun Junction USA would offer over 24 family attractions, ranging in tickets being priced from 1 to 5 tickets per person per ride. Loyal park goers found unhappiness with this change from Dixieland to Fun Junction, USA, as issues with change will always be common when something you love and have known, especially something you've known for over 20 years, is no longer what it used to be. A big criticism came with the new pricing system, including the $5 parking. Park goers were upset that Fun Junction, USA changed the ticketing from wristband pricing to a ticketing system. As the years went on, Fun Junction USA became an afterthought on a bigger scale in Atlanta. Local competitor Six Flags Over Georgia introduced the tallest ride in park history of Skyscreamer in 2013. 2014 introduced their biggest expansion in park history with the addition of Hurricane Harbor. 2015 would add the addition of a tilt-a-whirl named Harley Quinn Spinsanity and a Larson Looper named Joker Chaos Coaster. 2016 changing the Bugs Bunny World Kids section of the park to Bugs Bunny Boomtown. The introduction of Daffy Duck Bucket Blasters, a brand new kids/family area dedicated to the Justice Friends that included the Batcopters, Wile E. Coyote Canyon Blaster being rethemed to the Joker Funhouse Coaster, the introduction of the park's flyers in Wonder Woman Flight School, and a kids drop tower called Superman Tower of Power. All of this and more that I didn't mention addition and expansion wise would all occur between 2013 and 2016 at Six Flags Over Georgia. While from receiving new management, a new vision, a name change to Fun Junction USA, the park was stagnant for the next 5 years with not too much new and exciting things happening at the park. This would finally change and Fun Junction USA would be put in the spotlight once again. On July 3rd, 2017, 5 years after Dixieland Fun Park would change their name to Fun Junction USA, it was publicly announced that FunSpot America purchased Fun Junction USA.
Hey, it's John Jr. from Fun Junction USA, just south of Atlanta, Georgia. And boy, do we have a deal for you. We decided to extend our armband 7 days a week. That's right, $24.95 gets you a roller coaster. Look over here. You get 54 holes in mini golf. You've got a road course, a slick track. Hey, come look at this. Come over here. This is really cool. We've got a junior track. We've got bumper boats. We've got kiddie rides, family rides, thrill rides. We've got an indoor arcade. We've got everything, food and beverage. Hey, get on out here. We're right here in Fayetteville, Georgia at Fun Junction USA, $24.95. Come on out and have your best day ever.
The company would publicly state on their official FunSpot America Facebook page that this is our first FunSpot America park outside of Florida. We are excited to be adding this great park to our family. We look forward to what the future brings. The future would look bright indeed. Fun Junction USA, although purchased by FunSpot, would continue out the 2017 operating season as Fun Junction USA, and not being themed as a FunSpot park just yet. Park goers paying for parking during the 2017 season at Fun Junction USA would receive a parking receipt that did mention FunSpot's name on it to ease patrons on what would soon come another name change in the near future, being rebranded to FunSpot. FunSpot CEO John Airy Jr. was quoted by saying, "We are excited to be expanding our brand outside of the state of Florida. Atlanta and Fayetteville has a lot of exciting opportunities that we plan to capitalize on." Management changes would again take shape. 5 years after the park faced management changes with Fun Junction USA, employees from the Orlando parks were now taking management roles at Fun Junction USA in preparation for the changes to FunSpot, and upgrades and changes would be occurring over the next few years, with it once again being documented and reported in 2017 with FunSpot CEO John Airy Jr. hinting that a new roller coaster or other major ride would come to Atlanta's FunSpot in the future. In 2018, Fun Junction USA would officially be rebranded as a FunSpot Park, where it would officially be known as FunSpot Atlanta. To assist their newest acquisition, FunSpot would shift the paratroopers from the FunSpot Orlando location and move it to FunSpot Atlanta.
Paratrooper will be going to our brand new park in Fayetteville, Georgia.
3 years after Fun Junction USA would officially be rebranded as FunSpot Atlanta, and 4 years after being acquired by FunSpot in 2017, the hint that John Airy Jr. would give in 2017 would be massively underlooked until 2021, when a partnership between FunSpot and Rocky Mountain Construction would be announced to the public on May 25th, 2021. With this marking the first edition of many new rides and attractions planned to come to FunSpot Atlanta, with John Airy Jr., CEO of FunSpot, stating, "We're pleased to be able to provide huge thrills for families and coaster enthusiasts," and Fred Grubb, founder of RMC, chiming in by stating that, "We're excited to be working with FunSpot America and thrilled to be bringing a fantastic new RMC coaster to Atlanta. At this time in May of 2021, the name and details of the new and exciting RMC that would be coming to FunSpot Atlanta had not been announced, with FunSpot stating that they were pursuing name right sponsorship opportunities with one of Atlanta's major sports franchises. People began to speculate as to what major Atlanta sports franchise would it be themed after. Would it be themed after the Atlanta Falcons, the Atlanta Braves, Atlanta United, or Atlanta Hawks? Or maybe even Atlanta Dream? After time passed and hints were thrown out that the ride would be patriotic themed, this would rule out the Atlanta Falcons, for their colors are primarily red and black. This would also rule out Atlanta United, for their colors are primarily red, black, and gold. So in a way, this would only leave two major Atlanta sports franchises remaining, in the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks primarily had red, white, and blue patriotic colors from 2007 to 2015, so the Hawks announced on May 1st, 2014 that they would go back to the old Pac-Man logo and changing their colors back to red, black, and yellow that would take effect again starting the 2015-2016 NBA season. So ultimately, this would rule out the Atlanta Hawks by the time the coaster was announced in 2021, leaving only one major Atlanta sports franchise in the Atlanta Braves. In September of 2021, FunSpot Atlanta would earn a Golden Ticket Award for Breakout Family Entertainment Center of 2020 and 2021. This is awarded to the best family entertainment centers that have made facility improvements, expanded or developed marketing strategies to grow attendance. Although the Atlanta Braves did end up winning the World Series on November 2nd, 2021, exactly 2 weeks later on November 16, 2021 at the IAAPA Expo in Orlando, Florida, FunSpot would announce the official name of the new massive RMC coaster coming to FunSpot Atlanta, being known as Air Force One, named after in honor of CEO John Airey Jr.'s father, John Airey Sr.
Ever since he was a boy, John Airey Sr. wondered how cool it would be to fly. As he grew, his passion turned towards reaching the stars. Success always followed his career, and his dreams began to come into reality. But until today, the one dream to experience the thrill of spaceflight has been left unfulfilled.
Along with the official name announcement, the price of the coaster was announced at over $13 million. And at last, details were announced about Air Force One that includes highlights of the largest zero-G stall in America, the first ever Raven Trust Dive, a first of its kind zero-G roll over the arcade, 100 seconds of ride time, a 154-foot lift hill with a 146-foot drop at an 83-degree angle, and a top speed of 64 miles per hour, and so much more. Finally, to everyone's surprise, the lead car was revealed at the expo, arguably making it one of the best looking lead cars that RMC has produced thus far. 2 months after officially announcing the name Air Force One, FunSpot would officially break ground for the new massive RMC coaster at FunSpot Atlanta on January 6, 2022. Groundbreaking, according to Coaster Nation, reported that the groundbreaking took place earlier in the morning on January 6, with FunSpot CEO stating that he believes this is one resolution, of course he's referring to New Year's resolutions, that he is sure to keep and coaster enthusiasts are sure to love. Since then, massive progress has been made with the coaster nearing completion, with still anticipation of a lifespan from 2022 till infinity. Dixieland and Fun Junction USA are behind us now. Just like an old remnant of Fun Junction USA sign is located behind the arcade, FunSpot Atlanta is here to stay, with the park having enough land to fit both of the Florida parks inside of it. FunSpot has committed $700,000 to ensure its food and beverage selection improves across the 3 parks. FunSpot Atlanta has upgraded their admission ticket booth and plans to add the addition of a 30,000 square foot parking lot that will be dedicated for rideshare, including additional parking lot growth, additional shade structures, lights, and new park signage. Air Force One unfortunately did not open in 2022. With some zoning and noise complaint issues, the coaster would be pushed back and set to open in spring of 2023.
Official non-family riders, and I can't tell you, I'm emotional about this ride. I'm excited about this ride. I'm anxious. I want to hear every one of y'all's feedback. I think it's an absolute. I know for a fact RMC nailed it, and we came together and have a great partnership on this ride. I've heard words from thrilling to wicked to sick to the best coaster ever to, yeah, I can only ride it once. And then I gotta give myself 5 minutes to process it and get back on, right? Nice. And then 5 minutes later you see that coaster right back on. But I've ridden it, I would say at least 60 times, maybe
Nice.
80, I don't know, maybe 100. I haven't been counting, but it hasn't gotten old. It hasn't lost one bit of its first excitement. And I think we have a home run. I think we have, in my opinion, maybe a little biased, but I think it's the best coaster ever. And it's definitely Fun Spot's best coaster ever. I can't believe we did this. And today you all are going to experience that for the first time. I can't wait. This is it. This is what we And listen, last and not least, but if we build one in Orlando or we build one in Kissimmee, I want all you all to experience it for the first ones as well. So
My goodness, I'm shaking. I'm shaking. This thing's happening right here behind me. I'm on next. I could go on now, but we're getting back row to get this thing started.
Let's do this.
Holy cow. What do you think? That was amazing.
Oh my gosh, that is a real roller coaster
Get this
ride.
man a tissue!
Excitement was through the roof with this new exceptional addition. Think pieces, analysis, reactions, and thoughts were being shared throughout the internet of how great this coaster is and the possibility that it might be the best RMC coaster at that current time on the planet. Air Force One would go on to dominate the space, moving up high in the enthusiast rankings and shocking the general public to their core. Air Force One would go on to win the 2023 Golden Ticket Award for the best new attraction of that year. And it's sunny. It is 10 a.m. right now, 43 degrees. Once again, February 1st, 2025. It's weird to be at a park early this time where it's chilly. Nonetheless, a brand new ride is opening up here today at Fun Spot Atlanta called Hook and Slice. It is a mini reverse ride by SBF Visa. It's one of 5 new rides that are coming for 2025. Behind me is Air Force One. I might hop on this really quick because it is essentially dead here. All right, so I'm about to get on it again. And what's your name?
Devin.
Devin. So I have Devin here. He's the ride up for Hook and Slice. We already went on it again. I was the second person to get on this ride for the day. It's opening day.
At least he's the first person to go twice.
Yeah, I'm the first person to go twice. I'll take that. Nonetheless, I'm gonna hop on, give you guys a different perspective from off-ride. As Devin's about to hook me up, we're about to get on it right here, right now. Let's go. Go. The park did try to add new additions to the park to enhance the park experience to accent Air Force One. But what went wrong? Let's start with this. Fun Spot has two parks located in Central Florida. In fact, they are 13 miles apart from each other. So why would they have two parks located within a close proximity of each other? Well, wouldn't that take away from each other's growth and essentially become competitors? Well, you would think that, but let's break it down. Aforementioned, there are two Fun Spot parks located in the Orlando area, Fun Spot Kissimmee and Fun Spot Orlando. Fun Spot Kissimmee is 3 miles away from Walt Disney World, while Fun Spot Orlando is about 2 miles away from Universal Studios Florida. The purpose of these two locations, respectfully, fill a void of the aftermath of your day at Universal and or Disney. More so, for the individuals who are not staying on site in the ecosystem of Disney or Universal, but the off-site guests who just had an amazing day at Universal, Disney, or even SeaWorld, and want to continue at another theme park and have more fun. The Fun Spot parks in Orlando stay open late till 12 midnight and do really quite well and even offer late night tickets for admission after 9 p.m. But Fun Spot Atlanta is located in Fayetteville, Georgia, away from the mecca of Atlanta. If Fun Spot Orlando gets the spillover from Universal and Fun Spot Kissimmee gets the spillover of Disney, then rightfully you'd think Fun Spot Atlanta would be getting the spillover of Six Flags Over Georgia, right? Well, yes and no, and neither answer really works in their favor. Let me explain. Fun Spot Atlanta does indeed do just that. Yes, Fun Spot Atlanta has its dedicated local audience that go there all the time and thoroughly enjoy it, and most likely their parents went there when they were young from possibly the Fun Junction USA days or even further back to the Dixieland days. But Fun Spot, especially with the addition of Air Force One, does get visitors, but they get quite a few enthusiasts that travel long and far to visit the park to ride Air Force One. But more often than not, the spillover from Six Flags Over Georgia does occur. When people visit Six Flags Over Georgia, that often at times closes usually on average between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Then people go to Fun Spot Atlanta to ride Air Force One late night and with less crowds, or early in the morning for Air Force One rides, then leave to visit Six Flags Over Georgia. So that's why the answer is yes. But I also mentioned that no, because when Air Force One was constructed, unfairly, people put Fun Spot Atlanta as competitors with Six Flags Over Georgia. This stems from Six Flags Over Georgia had the first and only RMC coaster at the time in the state of Georgia, with Twisted Cyclone. Then came Air Force One, which truthfully is a better ride. Therefore, people believe more extravagant large rides would come to Fun Spot Atlanta, and Six Flags Over Georgia would and should be worried. In reference to competition, let's take a deeper look and break down Fun Spot Atlanta's situation, and more so their ride lineup. Look at these lineups surrounding these parks' RMC coasters. Iron Gwazi, that opened at Busch Gardens Tampa the same year as Air Force One in 2023, has a huge array of coasters to complement Iron Gwazi. Steel Vengeance has an outstanding supporting cast. And even down the street in the same state of Georgia as Air Force One, Six Flags Over Georgia has Twisted Cyclone, and with that quite diverse lineup of coasters with the B&M Hypercoaster in Goliath, a coaster manufactured by Schwarzkopf called Mindbender, a flying coaster in Superman, and many, many more. But the issue is, this is Fun Spot Atlanta. No disrespect whatsoever, it serves its point, especially for locals. It's an amusement park and shouldn't be placed in the theme park category, for it's honestly not trying to be. But again, what put this park on the map was Air Force One at the price tag of $13 million. $13 million. Fun Spot banked on a $13 million gamble that could have worked which I'm sure they had plans for more additions and expansions, even including more roller coasters and bigger thrill rides. But sadly, the reality is that FunSpot Atlanta doesn't gross a lot of revenue to validate the $13 million price tag. The cost of admissions to both the Florida parks is $59.95, while admission to FunSpot Atlanta is $39.95, or pay per ride, with notably Air Force One being $12 per person per ride if one doesn't want the all-ride $39.95 wristband. Granted, while Six Flags Over Georgia closes during the winter, FunSpot Atlanta operates their outdoor rides throughout the majority of the winter, while keeping their arcade open year-round. But it appears that the $13 million price tag of Air Force One was just a little bit too much for the park to handle during this time.
In a little over 1 month, it will be the end of an era for the Fun Spot amusement park in Fayetteville. For years now, it's provided entertainment for millions of guests.
And now the countdown begins to its permanent closure, with questions about what will happen to its most popular attraction. Good as Alex Whitler joins us now with reaction to the news and more on what's to come.
Yeah, I gotta say, what a great song to start this off with. Roller coaster, that was perfect. But before Fun Spot made the official announcement, many speculated the park would close soon because the crowds were just so small. The company hasn't said why specifically, but in this letter posted on social media, FunSpot America's CEO said this was an extremely difficult decision and that their Atlanta team has poured their hearts into serving guests and creating a place where families have fun together.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to FunSpot Atlanta. I'm John Airy Jr., the owner and CEO of FunSpot America. On behalf of my family and our entire FunSpot team, I want to sincerely thank each and every one of you for joining us today as we celebrate the final day of FunSpot Atlanta. And whether this is your first time visiting us or you've been with us over the years, thank you for choosing today to end this chapter. As you enjoy your day, I have a few important reminders for you. The park will be closing at 8 p.m., but the most important one is that world-class Air Force One out there is going to be closing at 7 p.m. So if you want one last ride on that, be sure to head over there early. And before you leave, I also encourage you to stop by our memory wall and photo backdrop. We would love for you to leave a message or share about your favorite FunSpot Atlanta memory and help us create something that we can cherish for years to come. And don't forget, pick up your farewell wristband at the admissions booth when you buy your single day pass today. It's just a small little thank you from us to you for being here today. And throughout the park today, you'll see photo collections playing on our TVs as we celebrate this last day together in FunSpot Atlanta. From the very beginning, through the many memories we've made together, we hope that you'll take a few moments to enjoy that video. Thank you again for being here, for supporting FunSpot Atlanta over the years, and helping us give this park the farewell it deserves. Have an incredible day out there. Enjoy your very last ride on your very favorite ride. Make a few more memories that'll last a lifetime. And from my family to yours, thank you.
So like, when mice get affected by toxoplasma, they become sexually attractive. I like it, guys. But it's a great thing. Simeon. Me too. I used to be a corner.
Alright, this is absolutely crazy. The sun is in my eyes, but this is absolutely crazy to be the very last person in line to ride Air Force One here at Fun Spot Atlanta. I'm at the back. The line is cut off right there, and I'm the last person in line. And while I'm here, I'm just thinking, and there's so many people like just back, you know, in front of me, with me, around me, and all this stuff, and it's just like super emotional, and I'm honored because this is my number 3 favorite coaster in the world, and just being here with this great people that I've met, and so many memories have been collected here in this queue. It's never been this long until these last few weeks, all the way back here, but just being here is absolutely a surreal experience. Sad. It'll hit me later, but I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for y'all, and just great people, man. He helped me achieve this opportunity to ride this, to be in the very last public train, and I'm just very thankful and honored. And this is just me. I'm at a loss for words. Just great people, great vibes, great energy here, and it's just been amazing. So
this is all about.
This is what it's all about.
That's what the coaster world is all about.
The coaster, that's true. So let's finish on through the queue, and then let's get on this and just enjoy it.
Until we say we're ready to go. He's got it. We'll send this train off. You guys ready for the last Air Force One train? The train of Air Force One is about to depart the station. Are you ready? How should we send it off? 3, 2, 1, say 25. Let's dispatch when I say 3, 2, 1, say it, please. Let's dispatch this train. Thank you.
Air Force One's future is unclear, but what is clear is the dynamic impact that this coaster had on a community of enthusiasts to a new generation of thrill seekers to come. To me, Air Force One feels like a fever dream. Did it really happen? Did it really come into our lives for a very short period of time and just vanish? The reality is, it did happen. It did bring smiles, joy, happiness, and togetherness. Air Force One's colors were perfect for what the color represented. The red from the restraints from the intensity of the quad down that would leave a red mark on your thighs going down the home stretch, to the intensity of the world-class inversions and speed that would make you have a white knuckle grip hanging on for dear life, to the ability to cure the blues of anyone having a bad day. Air Force One will not be forgotten. And to John Airy Jr., I want to say thank you for taking such a great risk that shocked the world in such a positive way and created memories that'll last a lifetime. To that I say, good sir, thank you.
To our community partners, to the city of Fayetteville, our friends, thank you for your support. And to every guest who ever walked through these gates, thank you for allowing us to be a part of your family. That means so much to me. While tonight marks the end of this chapter, the memories that were made here will live on forever. That's something that no one can take away from any of us. The pictures that I took with you all today, the conversations I had, the handshakes, the fist pumps, the high fives, thank you so much. You made me feel like a hero, and I'm not. I put my pants on just like you guys, 2 legs at a time. Right? Just kidding, 1 leg at a time. But I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be the one that's closing down this park, and I'm sad that I was the leader that couldn't make it work. I feel like there was things that I could have done differently, and I wish I could have, because I wanted this to live on forever. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. And if there's something that I leave this park with tonight, and I'll always remember, is that God has a plan for me, God has a plan for you all. And I know he's already got that next chapter written for me, and I'm excited about it. I know he's got the future plan for Area Force 1. I don't know what it is at this point, but he does. And that's something that we can never challenge. But the biggest thing I feel like God put me on earth for is to practice the golden rule. And I learned it right here in Fayetteville. I came up here in 2017 and found this park, and I loved it. I said, I'm going to make something good of it. 120 acres. This is going to be our flagship park. And I'm going to have a water park. I own the 20 acres up here, and that was going to be the water park. And I was going to do all these dry rides, and I was going to have multiple roller coasters and all this. And I remember going through town, I'd be at QT and Publix, well, not Publix, because they have automatic doors, but I'd be at QT, and I'd open up the door for somebody coming out, and they wouldn't say thank you. And I was thinking in my head, like, I was getting frustrated, and I said, why won't they just say thank you? Because if I was coming out, my hands were full, I'd say thank you to them. But I would do it continuously over and over again, and then I realized that God did not want me to look for the thank you, but to treat others how I wanted to be treated. And that's the golden rule. And if there's one thing I can say with closing this park today, and if there's one thing that you can take with you, is to practice the golden rule. And that's treat others the way that you want to be treated. And it will change your life. I promise you, it will change your life. So, as we close tonight, and I'm sorry that each and every one of y'all could not be on that last ride. I know you wanted to be. It's something that this ride will not forget. Your butt went on that seat, and hopefully more butts go on that seat. If you were the last ride, or the 20th the last ride, that roller coaster will remember it, and you will remember that coaster. Don't forget it. And remember, it was done at Fun Spot America. And we appreciate you being a part of that. There's not many parks in America that says, thank you for coming out. I love you all for coming out and being a part of our family. And as I wrap up, on behalf of my family and everyone at Fun Spot America, thank you for your loyalty, your friendship. That meant the world to me. This last week has been amazing. I've had some health issues ever since I announced that I was closing the park. I just wasn't doing good. I was having nightmares. I was having stomach issues. I know you don't care about this, but I have to share it. This is what you do for America. This is what you do for America, okay? I wasn't doing good. I came up here on Monday. On Tuesday morning, I woke up feeling a little bit better. On Wednesday morning, I felt 110%. Every day since, I felt 110%. And you know why? Because each and every one of you that came in this week and all the other people that came in this week put me back to normal. You released the dopamines in me to make me feel good again, and you helped get me right. And I thank you for that. Thank you for your friendship. I hope we meet again one day. Our Central Florida parks are going nowhere. Let me throw a little plug out there for them. We got White Lightning, a great family coaster. We got Mind Blower and Kissimmee that goes upside down. We've got multiple rides. We got the Freedom Flyer, which is one of the best roller coasters in the world for young ones. Don't forget about those parks. We need you to visit them. We are family owned. We're not greedy. We're here for you. We live a very simple life because we want to give back to you. We want to reinvest. We want to put more in the parks for you to come back. Thank you. Thank you for that. But most of all, thank you for making Fun Spot Atlanta such a special place. I gotta wrap this up. I'm thankful for you all staying an extra hour later than what I said I was gonna do this speech. But I wanna just say, I appreciate you all. I love you all. but most importantly, God bless you, God bless your families, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you for being a part of it. And last thing I want to say is, you guys want to know where this ride's going? Yeah! You'll be the first to know if you follow us on social media.